Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is one of my favourite videos to make over the course of a full year on the channel. I know last week was kind of off with stuff, but this is a big week for Celtic, so expect things to be back on. We're going to kind of talk about the conclusion to the Scottish Premiership season. We've obviously got the Scottish Cup final on Sunday, and then, Saturday, and then we've got a very big bit of time for Celtic where we decide a lot of what happens over the next couple of seasons on our way to 10 in a row. This is going to be a big kind of few weeks for Celtic. We should be hoping for a managerial appointment. We should be hoping for a treble, and the season has just wrapped up, and we're going to start this week with a couple of videos which involve everybody. So if you're not a Celtic fan, welcome to the channel. You might have found your way here. Yes, I'm a Celtic fan. Don't click off because I am. I try and be as unbiased as possible, and might sound completely wrong if you're not a Celtic fan, but I think I do a pretty good job at it, in fairness. Today we're going to be reviewing, and it's one of my favourite videos, as I said, we're going to be reviewing my predictions at the start of the season. Tomorrow we're going to be doing team of the season, by the way, for the whole Premiership, which will be interesting, won't it? Today, though, we're going to be reviewing my predictions from the start of the season of what I predicted the league table would finish. Now, it's not an easy job, you know. There's 12 teams in the league. Every year teams change, and their form is like one season a team can be third, next season they be getting relegated. Do you know what? I'm proud of Scottish football this season. That's how I want to start this video. I'm proud of Scottish football. I think over the last couple of years, that football in Scotland has improved bit by bit, season by season, and this year was very entertaining. I'm very proud of how we represented our league this season throughout the whole league. It was great. It was fantastic. Obviously you get your ups, you get your downs. There's moments where you want to forget and such for every team. There's moments that you want to remember, but in general I thought it was a terrifically entertaining season, and it's came to a conclusion. Celtic obviously winning the title, but we're going to review my predictions from the start of the season. Some I was way off with, some I was correct with, so we're going to go through with it. There's a lot to talk about. I'm going to try and be as quick and concise as possible on all teams, because this is a video that can easily drag out to 20 minutes. If you're a fan of Hamilton, if you're a fan of Livingston, if you're a fan of Kilmarnock, you're a fan of Celtic, fan of Rangers, then just be patient. We'll talk about your team. But I'll try and keep it as concise as possible and react to kind of how I thought the teams would start at the start of the season, how they would play at the start of the season. So the best place to start is from the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at my predictions, and then we're going to look at where they actually finished. I think that's the best way to go. So let's start at the bottom. So for the bottom of the table, I actually predicted Livingston, who finished 9th. The bottom half, obviously where they were expected to be, but they completely blew me away this season. Now, towards the end, things kind of unravelled for them. They weren't as great as what they kind of were at the start of the season, but what a remarkable achievement from Holt and his men. Unbelievable what was done there at Livingston this season. Coming up, well, the surefire favourites to finish rock bottom. A few people I did see, give them that kind of confidence, that vote of confidence that they would stay up and they would do better than finishing rock bottom. I had no faith whatsoever, and after a nightmare start as well, it wasn't exactly a nightmare start in the sense that they were getting pumped off teams, because Celtic, we beat them in the first game of the season, and it wasn't by a drastic margin. But the disaster was that Kenny Miller came in as player manager, and he was gone within the opening 3 games, and at that point you're thinking it's disaster for Livingston. This is they're going down. There's no hope for them. But Gary Holt came in, and boy did he change things. They were remarkably good at home. Their defending was fantastic throughout the season, and what a shout for Kelly, the goalkeeper. What a season he had. At points he looked unbeatable. A great season for Livingston, finishing 9th, and yes, it may have been a bit more disappointing towards the end with some of the results, but to stay up was the dream for Livingston, and they managed to do it. Can they do it again next season? Another story. Could it be second season syndrome? But they looked strong this year. A few good players for them. Players turned up. They played well. They were one of those teams that, they came up and they may have not had the resources or the standard of player that they needed to stay in this league, but the players performed to a level which, was enough, and it was a fighting level, and they fought against every team. They gave Celtic a hard time when we played them at the Tony Macaroni Arena. I remember that. I was there. It was a terrible day. We were useless, and they were great at defending, but they stayed up. That's surprising. Well done to Livingston. A great season for them. For 11th place, I predicted Hamilton, who I thought who I've been dying to see go down for years. I don't have a hatred for Hamilton, but they are a pointless football club. I'm sorry, Hamilton fans. I'm sorry. I'm just against plastic parks. As if it was up to me, I wouldn't allow, if I was the chief operator, and I know some teams just can't afford that, well, you know what, there should be support from there. I've not got a hatred, right, but there's just, there's barely any supporters, the stadium's shit, they've got a plastic park. I've been dying to see them go down, and for years I've been predicting they'll go down, and they just don't want to. They finished 10th. They just avoided on the last day of the season finishing in that playoff. So it sounds like I have a burning hatred for Hamilton, doesn't it? But they managed to stay up. I was only a place off. They did finish around the region I expected them to, but I expected to see them in that playoff position. They managed to avoid it. They stayed up. Dougie Emery, his career at Hamilton's over. Not much else to add apart from I wish they went down. For 10th place, I predicted St Mirren. So I kind of mixed those two about. I thought St Mirren would finish 10th and Hamilton 11th, but it actually went the other way. And now St Mirren could potentially drop into the Championship. They've got to go and play in the playoffs against Dundee United, I believe, to see who will get that final position in the Premiership next season. A shame for St Mirren, who started the season poorly. They ended up going through a managerial change as well, bringing in Owen Kearney, who took his time to get into things. I mean, granted, in his first fucking game, he managed to get a point off Celtic. But, you know, going on, after that game, it took his time to get into things. But then, you know, they started picking things up, and I really did want St Mirren. And I thought St Mirren would have got a secure place in the Premiership next season. It just kind of slipped out their hands, and then they fought to the very end. They were very unlucky. Now they've got a job ahead of them. I believe they could stay up next season, but obviously Dundee United, a massive club in Scotland, and they want to get back into the place where they belong. So it's not going to be easy. Two teams who rightfully belong to be in this division and want to be in this division going head to head. It'll be a very, very, very entertaining game, I imagine. But it's a shame for St Mirren finishing 11th, but I wasn't too far off. 9th place, I predicted Dundee, who finished rock bottom. I don't know why I had such faith in Dundee to finish 9th. I can't quite remember everything I said about Dundee, but they just had a night. They were absolutely abysmal. I mean, let me just check. How many points did they finish on? Just to see. 21 points, 5 wins all season. It's not the worst thing in the world. There's teams who have done worse. You think of points records even down south, in such Derby counties, for example. But a nightmare season from start to finish for Dundee. They just couldn't get anything right. I mean, I'm surprised they even got 5 wins. Then they had their best player taken off them in January, which didn't help either. They also went through a managerial change. I mean, and even at that, Jim McIntyre has also left the club. It's a state right now, and it seems like the Dundee clubs are trying to avoid each other, isn't it? You know, since Dundee's been up, Dundee United have been down, and now Dundee United could come up, and Dundee are going down. They're out of the division. We won't see them next season. Farewell to Dundee for a while. I imagine they have the resources, though, to come back. I think they will fight hard in the Championship. I could see them coming right back up. But there has to be an overhaul there. A lot of bad decisions. And right now, they've just not got the quality in the side. From start to finish, it was just a nightmare. That's the honest truth. I mean, there was no point in the season where I looked at Dundee and said, they might actually fight back. I always, from the minute I seen that they were down in the gutters, I thought they were going to stay there. And they did. They did stay there. 8th place, I had St Johnstone. Which I was very close once again to getting. St Johnstone Motherwell, I'll kind of talk about 2 in the 1, because once again I've done that thing where they swapped about. So I had St Johnstone to finish 8th and Motherwell to finish 7th. Hi Gogsy. I had those 2 sitting there, but they actually swapped it about. So Motherwell finished 8th and St Johnstone finished 7th. St Johnstone dying to get back to that top 6 standard that they kind of hit at one point. Tommy Wright's obviously been there for a long time now. They're a team who I think just lack consistency. Sometimes they look really good, and then they get tanned off wee teams. They're a side that probably are just going to be that standard for a long, long time, unless they might make the right signings. But I don't feel like they have that attacking quality to go and push in the top 6. And now the top 6 in this league has kind of pulled away from that bottom 6. When you compare the top 6 sides in our division to the bottom 6, there is a gulf in standard. It's not massive. I mean, Motherwell and St Johnstone aren't far off Hearts, for example. But, well, they are. That's what I think. They are far off. But you get what I'm saying. It sounds stupid what I'm saying, right? But it's like, it's 2 leagues in its own. Because those 6 sides look for the next couple of years like they could finish in those 6 spots. But all Motherwell and St Johnstone need, this is what I'm trying to say, all Motherwell and St Johnstone need is that little bit of resource. Because Motherwell, they keep going through this constant sort of overhaul, it feels. It feels like every year the team is changing. But St Johnstone finishing 8th, they need a quality up front, they need some players. And Motherwell, their season was kind of up and down as well. I mean, talking to Gogsy on the SPFL show really showed that he lacked confidence in his team at times, and understandably. They dropped silly points. And I think in the end, they actually finished with more points than Hearts, but obviously because of their stupid split scenario, that's very easy for that to happen. It happens every year, pretty much. But they managed to finish 7th. I think I'd be happy with that if I was a Motherwell fan, considering, you know, it was coming off the back of Louis Moult leaving the season before. But what Motherwell can be really proud of is the youngsters that they managed to bring through this year. As I said, the overhaul that they seem to go through every year or two is mad. And they brought through a couple of good youngsters this year who were up for the Young Player of the Year. One is obviously off to Rangers and Hasty, the other being Turnbull. They should be proud of the players that they gave a chance this season. And not a bad year. So we move on to the top 6. The top 6, what I predicted. So 6th place I predicted Kilmarnock. What a season Steve Clarke had at Kilmarnock. Looks to be leaving now, gave his farewell yesterday by the looks of things. And I mean, I'm actually sad to see him leave Kilmarnock. I'm actually quite sad. I'm scared that Kilmarnock fans have just seen the best they'll ever see from their club. 2 years on the bounce, Steve Clarke has managed to break records at Kilmarnock and get them the highest finish, and he has led a team which looked to be useless, buried, no fans, everything, to Europe, to European football. Steve Clarke done that. Now, I'm very happy, don't get me wrong, I said I was sad to see him leave Kilmarnock because of what he's done there and what he's done for the league as well. He's made teams who were beyond useless look very good and made them very good. He made players who were useless good. But at the same time, also, I'm very happy that he's going to be the Scotland manager by the looks of things, which is great. It's the appointment we probably needed. Hopefully he can do the same thing in Scotland as he done at Kilmarnock. But the fact he got them into Europe is absolutely unbelievable, and they're a solid team, a great team. They are undoubtedly the best of the rest outside that old firm. There was no question of it all season. They made life difficult for both Celtic and Rangers. They showed that yesterday by beating Rangers. They showed that through their performances against Celtic this year. They were a fantastic side, and Steve Clarke should be incredibly proud of what he done at his time at Kilmarnock. Unbelievable stuff. And I predicted 6th. I thought, for, you know, last year obviously when Steve Clarke came in and he built up this Kilmarnock side and he got them to the point he did, I was like, wow, that's insane. But I don't know if they can repeat it, because every other team has been improving as well, and he did improve it. He made things great there. It's kind of a loss for words at what he done at Kilmarnock. It's remarkable. Great stuff. I predicted 6th. They finished 3rd. I was 3 off with them. Great season for Kilmarnock. Hearts I predicted 5th. They actually finished 6th. Now, the way they started the season, you know, there was a time where Hearts fans thought they were going to be the champions. What a start to the season they had. Obviously beat Celtic on the opening day. That was better. They started really well. Their defence looked impeccable, and then it just fell to shit for Craig Levein. Overall, Hearts season, if you're a Hearts fan, how do you rate it? For me, I feel like it's time for Craig Levein to go if he doesn't win the Cup this weekend, especially if it's a humiliation. I feel like, despite getting them to a Cup final, a Cup semi-final, and the top half, I think his football there is dire. I think it's poor to watch, and if I was a Hearts fan, I'd want change. Now, obviously, with that risk and change, you could be seeing your team go into worse hands, and things could unravel even more. But the way that it went to shit for Hearts, and I understand at that point in the season when so many of their good players, so many of their best players and pivotal players got injured, it became very difficult, but it just was never there after that point. It was inconsistent, it was poor. They deserved to finish high on the table with that first half of the season performance, and then fell to shit. If I was a Hearts fan, I'd want rid of Levein. But obviously they've got a big job this weekend. They could stop Celtic from winning a treble. Do I think they will? We'll talk about that on Wednesday or something. But aye, Hearts season overall, you know, it could have been worse. They could have slipped into the bottom half at some point. But they finished top half and they've got a cup final. I guess in the grand scheme of things that isn't terrible. But once again, they fell down to their cross-city rivals. For me, it's time up for Levein. In 4th place, I predicted Aberdeen. I got that corrected. Wow. I fucked that one up. I predicted that one correct. Aberdeen finishing 4th. I said I feel like this would be the season where Aberdeen kind of tail off a little bit. I think they will fall behind Rangers, and I don't see them finishing 2nd for the first time. And I was correct in saying so. Aberdeen probably need change. I think a lot of people would like to see McInnes go from stuff that I've seen, but at the same time, you know, he's been there for that long. Would you want to risk that change? I don't know. I'm not an Aberdeen fan. I couldn't care less. But Aberdeen, yeah, they struggled at points this season. They looked as though they could have pushed on for 2nd at a point though, and then it kind of fell for them. I mean, there's not much to say. I predicted it right, so happy days. 3rd place. I'm doing this on one take. This is great. How good am I? 3rd place. I predicted Rangers. Hey, well, I was. You know, the Rangers fans will be laughing this up. Oh, you thought we finished 3rd. I mean, you're only 4 off it. I mean, how far actually were they off it? Let's see, I think they were, to be honest. They were 11 points clear of third, right? So, I'll give you that. Rangers drastically improved this season. From, you know, finishing third last year with the disaster of Pedro Caixinha and such. They did move on. Gerrard has came in. Has he done what the Rangers fans make out he has done? No. Not for me. I believe they've improved. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to deny that. But here we are sitting waiting to see them in any cup final. And they're still 9 points behind Celtic. For me, yes, they've improved. Not denying it. I'm going to say that one more time in case he's want to fire me with abuse. But has it been the revelation that Rangers fans have made it out to be at points this season? No, absolutely not. Well done. You've finished second, the place where you should be. I'm not trying to be sour about it. I'm trying to be unbiased and such. And it might not sound like I'm being unbiased, but it's just true. You've finished second. Well done. Be proud of that. But let's calm it down. Right? We'll see what happens next season. You are getting closer. But just remember, this was the biggest chance you've had to stop us from getting 10 so far. And it didn't work out because we had a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. You could have took advantage of it and you didn't. Because consistency needs to be there at Rangers. It's still not there. The consistency isn't at Rangers. Yes, they improved. Players improved. The squad improved. The managerial system improved. The tactics improved. But the consistency's not there to go and challenge for a league title. So, maybe next season, there could be a title race. I don't know. But this season, I predicted he's third. Maybe I was harsh at the start. I just didn't have a lot of faith in Gerrard. I still don't see the big hype in Gerrard. But we'll get on to that next season, I suppose. Second place, I predicted Hibs. Well, that just... Yeah, I mean, there was a point where Hibs could have finished in the bottom half. Nightmarish start to the season. Lennon obviously left. He ended up coming back to us. But Heckingbottom came in and saved things for Hibs and actually managed to pull them above Hearts. So, in the grand scheme of things, after the start to the season he's had, Hibs, do you know what? You should be pretty happy where he's finished because it could have been a disaster. I had faith they could have finished second after how good they looked last season. They could have finished second last season. It was a matter of points between them, Aberdeen and Rangers last year. I thought Neil Lennon's going to go. He's going to improve that side. Then they lost McGinn and McGeoch. I thought to myself, do you know what? With the money, they'll get players that can replace them. They never did. They never replaced McGinn and McGeoch. And that was probably the biggest issue. And then behind the scenes, things just fell apart with Lennon. Left. And it was a 5th place finish for Hibs. I predicted second. Probably the one I was furthest off with because I was very confident in saying that they would finish second. And I was very wrong with saying that. So, Hibs, better luck next year. Now, who did I predict to finish first? A team who were always going to finish first. Celtic. Now, I'm not going to say too much about Celtic because after the cup final, I'll do my season review and I'll talk about stuff in that. But we won the league 8 in a row. Happy days, as expected. I said in the video there is no doubt in my mind Celtic will win the league. We won it by 9 points. Even after the nightmare of a season we had, this was potentially the worst season for circumstances that Celtic have seen in a long time. We started horribly. We lost our best striker. We lost our fucking manager. Everything just went to shit this year for Celtic, but yet we managed to pull through and win the league. Thank you, Neil Lennon, for answering the call. We needed that. And we won the league. I predicted it correctly. We were always going to win it. No one else was going to. And will it be the same next season? Find out when I predict that. But aye, that's it. That's me reacting to my league table. I mean, a few I was very off with, but in the grand scheme of things, for a 12-team league, it's hard to really fuck it up. But I wasn't too far. I mean, the ones that I fucked up the most was Dundee, Livingston, and Hibs, and Kilmarnock. Four. I mean, that's a third of the league. But aye, let me know your thoughts to my predictions and how you thought this season was in the Scottish Premiership. If you've enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Hit like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. That would be very, very appreciated. And aye, I'll see you all next time.